Last episode, I talked about a movie that I called a video store wonder, which is a movie that didn't get a ton of attention during its theatrical release, but managed to build a following by being a staple of video stores. Well, now I'm going to talk about a movie that I like to call a lost and found cult film. This is a movie that managed to get a theatrical release back in the day, but for some reason went almost completely unnoticed during the VHS era, before somebody decided to clean it up and give it a high-def release where it finally started to build a following. I guess it's better late than never that this movie's finally getting some attention from exploitation movie fans, because it is... well, you'll see. Devil's Express is a 1976 exploitation movie that's really hard to describe in one sentence. Is it a blaxsploitation film, a kung fu flick, a horror movie? It's almost like somebody took every drive-in movie genre that was popular in the 70s and mashed them all together. And when you combine this with the amateurish production values, you get a movie that was practically made for this show. It's also sometimes known as Gang Wars, but most recent releases of the movie use the title Devil's Express. And both of those titles somehow managed to kinda describe the movie and also not prepare you for it at all. I'm not joking. What Miami Connection was to the 80s, this movie is to the 70s. All it's missing is a musical number called Soul Ninja. So like most 70s blaxploitation movies, we begin in ancient China. Fun fact, back then the entire world was covered in a thin layer of Vaseline. I'm not exactly sure what's happening here, but I think these guys are having a funeral for my grandmother's jewelry. And I also think this guy needs to be more careful with his sword. You know, I'm kinda glad Tarantino cut this part out of Kill Bill. Seemed a little unnecessary. And fuck you if you still don't know what's going on. We're starting the movie. Now let's get funky. Yeah, nothing says 70s blaxploitation like a kick-ass funk soundtrack. Unfortunately, this one keeps getting interrupted by the Doctor Who theme. Anyway, our main character is Luke, played by actor Warhawk Tanzania, which is one of the most awesomely ridiculous names ever. Seriously, the only way that could be more appropriate for a kung fu blaxploitation star is if his name was Big Dick Kickass or something. Which makes it even weirder that he was apparently only in one other movie besides this one. As you can see, Luke is a master of martial arts, and just how bad is he?
And I guess I've just been taken by one of the best, huh?
He is not one of the best, Mr. Man. He is the best.
He's so badass he comes with his own hype man.
And I suppose you're qualified to know who the best is.
Looking at that shirt, I don't think this guy's qualified to judge anything. The guy he's giving a lesson to is a police officer, but Luke ain't exactly a fan of the fuzz.
You're getting lessons from me, and that's it. The next time you try to recruit me into that pig pen of yours is the day I stop pulling my punches and ice you.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, how about this? You give me my next lesson for free, and I won't arrest you for threatening a police officer. Sound good? And did somebody say 70s dialogue?
Some dude in the deuce was flashing a big roll on St. Nicholas. So I helped him to the scrap game for a quarter, you dig? He whips out a piece, and he takes the whole pot.
Yeah, I think the filmmakers are the ones who took all the pot. Luke and his friend are preparing for a trip to Hong Kong, because I guess they needed to figure out some way to connect the opening scene to the rest of the movie.
Look, bro, I'm counting on you. This is really important. Don't get waylaid.
I wasn't planning on getting laid, Sifu.
Well, that's good, because you probably won't. Alright, the stock footage we bought says we're in Hong Kong. Time for some intense martial arts training, and then later we can hit up Hong Kong Disneyland.
Master Leon.
Huh. Okay, I guess if you want to actually hear the master speak, you gotta pay extra. Damn, this is like Soul Brother meets Shaw Brothers. I don't know if Luke's training is going so well. How about we just send Jackie Chan over to America and you can be his sassy partner? Now that the fighting part is over with, to complete your training, you must meditate and reach a state of inner peace. Or, you know, wander around and goof off, whichever you feel like. As you can probably tell, this is where the rest of the movie connects to the intro when Luke's friend stumbles upon the burial site shown at the beginning. Hey, just what is this guy's name, anyway?
Rodan! Rodan, where are you?
Rodan? The guy's name is Rodan? Oh shit, I sure hope Toho doesn't end up blocking this video. Oh god damn it! Rodan ends up stealing the amulet that was shown at the beginning and taking it back to America with him. I'm sure defiling an ancient Chinese burial site won't lead to any negative consequences. Well, congratulations, fellas. I think you just woke up the oily maniac. Bad news for the monster, though. He's got a long walk ahead of him before he gets to Camp Crystal Lake. And what is with not recording people's dialogue in this movie? And wait a second, a weird ancient monster attacking a Chinese guy while it's being transported somewhere? Is this movie a sequel to Horror Express? Because, weirdly enough, I can kinda see that working. Not to worry though, this guy looks okay. Other than the fact that he looks like he could use some eye drops. Apparently the monster possessed this guy to make its way to New York. And way to remain inconspicuous there, monster. This is what happens when you do a shitload of acid and can't find your friends. So I've heard. Also, I gotta give this actor props, cause having to go downstairs while keeping your eyes closed probably wasn't that easy. Meanwhile, back in the blaxsploitation-y part of the movie, Rodan's busy showing off his new outfit that doesn't really say I'm a pimp as much as I'm gonna try to sell you a used Ford Pinto. And again, about the sound in this movie.
You call him and I'll follow.
Hey, somebody finally remembered to press record on the sound. Come on, guys, what are you doing? You can show how this movie was funded later. They end up getting robbed by members of a rival Chinese gang, and losing his cocaine really pisses Rodan off. He needs to get his completely unwarranted confidence from somewhere, you know. Never mind him, though. Things seem to be going alright for Luke. He's such a pimp he can eat eggs with chopsticks and girls still won't think he's a douche. Although I do think it's a little weird that he wears more clothes when he's about to have sex than he does just walking around his neighborhood. Oh, right, the plot. Rodan wants to start a war with the rival Chinese gang for stealing his cocaine, but Luke's against the idea.
This kind of a hassle could turn into an all-out war. The gang fighting isn't worth it. That's not what martial arts is all about.
Maybe actual martial arts isn't, but martial arts movies are supposed to be all about fighting. So I say start the gang war. I mean, it is the name of the movie after all. Kinda. But hey, at least someone realizes there should be some martial arts in this movie. The fight scenes in this movie are less Enter the Dragon and more I'm gonna get you, sucker. Oh well, at least the stunt doubles are a little more convincing here. Anyway, what's the possessed guy in the subway doing? Oh shit, is blood saying stop and go at the same time? Looks like the monster's taken its true form, but forget about that, we've got a gang war to get to. I guess. Jeez, this is like West Side Story if it was directed by Melvin Van Peebles. Alright, time to rumble. Okay, I know this movie was made before, but is it me or do the sound effects seem like they were taken from a Double Dragon game? This is like Bruce Lee versus Bruce Leroy. Or possibly just some guy named Leroy. And no fair, guys. You brought weapons while the Chinese guys didn't even remember to wear shirts. Okay, I guess the Chinese gang lost since they just run away. Back in the other story, apparently the monster killed somebody, and I say apparently because they show him transforming and then suddenly the cops find a body in the subway.
You really have a theory?
No, not really. But there is a possibility that there's a gang war going on between the black gangs and the Chinese gangs.
You figured that out by looking at one dead body? I would say this guy cheated and knew there was a gang war by looking at the title, but that's not what my version's called. And did everyone in the 70s dress like they own their own carpet store?
Somebody, please help me. I can't move. My foot is caught.
Oh shit, that female GPS voice sounds like it's in trouble. And so is this guy. Still a better scream than that one guy from Monster that challenged the world.
May the peace of the Almighty be with you.
Hey, wait a minute. Is that Brother Theodore playing the priest? Brother Theodore, cult film actor, The Burbs, The Last Unicorn, the voice of Gollum in that 70s Hobbit cartoon? Whatever, I'm excited to see him. Even though I made fun of the lieutenant's gang war theory earlier, he's not the only one with a wacky theory.
And it seems that a lot of workmen broke through the sewers and were attacked by animals. These were animals that had become mutant. Dogs, cats, rats, alligators.
No, it's not sewer alligators. That's another movie I need to get to someday. But that doesn't stop the press from pushing the story.
The recent subway murders may be attributed to mutant cats, rats, and dogs inbred and inhabiting the subways. Christ, that's all we need.
I don't need this shit. I gotta practice for my barbershop quartet later. Of course, the lieutenant's ideas about the murders aren't exactly solid either.
We've got definite reports on fighting between the Chinese and the black gangs in the same areas as the murders.
What are you talking about? All the bodies you found were in the subway, while the only gang fight we've seen so far was in an alley. Are you pushing this gang war idea just because you want an excuse to arrest some minorities? Speaking of gang wars, time for another fight scene. Well, I see they forgot the sound effects this time. Whatever, I'll just add them myself.
Perfect.
No wonder the Chinese gang members keep losing. They're sick from swallowing all that red paint. Well, that's enough of the gang war. Now back to the monster part. I'm sure these two plot threads will connect at some point. Let's see, random black guy in a dark subway? I'm sure he'll be fine. Whoops, guess I was wrong.
Too many people, too much pollution, too much of everything. Hey, you, what are you doing, you crazy kid? What are you smoking for? He doesn't know what he's doing, the kid.
Hey, careful, lady. This is 1970s New York. You don't want to piss off Charles Bronson and have him go all Death Wish on you. And what the hell? You mean the monster decapitated this guy off screen? Now I can't do a decapitation drop. With all these murders going on, the cops decide to go to Luke for help because I guess knowing karate will help solve this mystery.
Could I have a large Coke, please, with just a squeeze of lime, please?
Coke? Are you sure you can handle it?
Of course he could handle it.
Hey, don't make fun of him. You're the ones drinking Heineken. Luke doesn't buy the lieutenant's theory that the murders have something to do with the gang war, which makes sense considering they've all occurred in the fucking subway. Uh-oh. I think somebody might be getting stalked by Joe Spinell from Maniac. Oh, wait a minute, it's just a regular old rapist. New Yorkers were used to that kind of thing in the 70s. However, he ends up getting attacked by the swamp thing before he's able to finish.
It wasn't real. Some deformed monster.
You know, why is the monster staying in the subway? If it knows Rodan's the one who stole the amulet and was able to follow him all the way to New York, why doesn't it just go to his apartment? Or is it afraid of getting bed bugs?
That's what she said. Like it was some kind of monster. I don't think these subway killings have anything to do with the gang wars.
Gee, you think? Even if the monster has nothing to do with the gang fighting, that doesn't mean it's not still going on. Man, this gang war is really gonna heat up once one of them discovers that guns are a thing. And Rodan proves that sometimes you don't need to be the best fighter, you just need to have good cardio and run like a bitch. He tries hiding from the Chinese gang members in the subway, and I'm wondering if the people who made this got permits to film here, cause my instincts are telling me no. At least this means Rodan went to where the monster is. Time for Rodan versus the subway monster. And clearly Rodan loses. Luke is not going to be happy about this. Rodan still owed him money for using his bar tab.
I got enough proof right here to tell me who did this number, and I'm gonna fix it.
Now hold it, Luke. I'm telling you, it wasn't the Chinese gangs.
I know who did this to my brother.
I mean, just look at how clean his shirt is. That's an ancient Chinese secret, you dig? Luke goes to confront the members of the Red Dragon Gang, and I don't blame him. Personally, I prefer the Manhunter Gang. Damn, Luke's such a karate master he can hurt people without even touching them. Well, looks like they forgot to put in the kung fu sound effects again, but considering it seems like they only recorded the sound half the time, I guess that makes sense.
Now, before I punch your face in, I want to know just how you killed my student Rodan.
Look, you got the wrong idea, Luke. I'm pretty sure Mechagodzilla's the one who killed Rodan. The gang member tells Luke they're not responsible for killing Rodan and takes him to a Chinese elder, and either this guy's gonna tell Luke who really killed him, or try to sell him a mogwai. Actually, judging by that makeup job, I'm wondering if this actor is even Chinese. The elder explains that the amulet Rodan stole contained the spirit of a demon that was released when he removed it from the burial site, but if Jack Burton is able to rescue Gracie Law from Lopan, that should be able to... wait a second, sorry, wrong movie. The Elder also says the demon doesn't like the light, mainly because the costume they made doesn't hold up as well when you can see it clearly. Luke prepares to go into the subway to confront the monster, but first, time for more Brother Theodore.
Pestiferous rats, shrieking, squeaking, lusting to sink their teeth into your wicked heart. Heads, black rat.
Fun fact, Brother Theodore wasn't given any dialogue, he just improvised all of his lines. In fact, I don't think he was even supposed to be in this movie. I think he just showed up and the director was like, fuck it, roll the cameras. You can really tell Luke's ready to fight the monster because he wore his best gold lame overalls to this fight. Alright, time to trap the demon back in the amulet, and if that doesn't work, you could always just use it to store some cocaine. And apparently the demon just killed the editor. I guess it's appropriate I compared the sound effects in this movie to an arcade game, since the demon can apparently shapeshift into other people like he's Shang Tsung. At least I think that's what's happening, since this climactic fight scene is so confusingly edited, it's hard to tell what the hell's going on a lot of the time. One thing's for sure, this movie probably didn't have the budget to have Warhawk Tanzania fight Goro during this scene. At one point it gets so cheap, they even forget to have Luke fight another person. Not that the rest of the fight choreography is that impressive. Patty cake, bakers, man, motherfucker! The monster eventually shows its true form, and he even wore his best sneakers for this fight. Oh well, at least the video game sound effects are back. Jeez, things aren't looking good. Hopefully Luke brought enough quarters to defeat this thing. You lose! Alright, Luke managed to defeat the demon. But what about the amulet?
The amulet? We're letting the priest take care of that.
Wait a minute, you're giving the amulet to Brother Theodore? No, don't do that. He'll just put another demon in there. Or at least use it to store more cocaine. Okay, I guess that wraps things up since that's the end of the movie. And nice try, Joan Puma, but Warhawk Tanzania is still the one with the most badass name in this movie. So that's Devil's Express, or Gang Wars, or whatever. And having now seen it, it is amazing it took this thing almost 40 years to get a cult following. I mean, it's got all the elements to be a so bad it's good midnight movie. And I'm not just talking about the fact that it can't seem to decide what genre it wants to be. Awkward fight scenes, choppy editing, a weird plot line, questionable acting, a lead actor named fucking Warhawk Tanzania. It almost seems like one of those modern day movies that tries to be like a 70s grindhouse film, except that this one actually is a 70s grindhouse film. Like a lot of cheaply made exploitation movies, there are some dead spots where not much happens, but the sheer weirdness of trying to mash so many different genres together helps to make up for it. So if you're thinking of having a bad movie night with some friends and are having trouble choosing what kind of movie to watch, just pick this one. Chances are it's got you covered. There is something that's still bothering me though, namely how the hell did a guy named Warhawk Tanzania only make 2 movies? I am gonna be really disappointed if I find out he changed careers to become an accountant. Well, that's all for now. Until next time.
matter, huh? Don't you like my looks, baby? I was prettier than you. Believe me, I was prettier than you. Yeah.